So we've been getting a lot of news, and I will talk about some news earlier from the week and add this to this bit of for the video. We've been getting a lot, and I do stress a lot of Godzilla comic news from IDW because God knows it's one of the three titles holding IDW together at this point until otherwise. The first and foremost being Ninja Turtles, and I guess you could throw in Star Trek at number 3. But we've basically gotten a new era of Godzilla comics, and we've had announcements all through the week, and apparently there are a few more days left, and we will be getting more announcements throughout, a few more announcements by the week's end, apparently. I do have a feeling that one of those new announcements coming this week will probably be a Godzilla crossover. With who? I don't know. I know a lot of people are wanting, like, Godzilla TMNT, which I would not be opposed to at all. Could be Godzilla Star Trek. Either way, it's very clear that when you I think even Toho, and I gotta hand it to Toho Studios, is that they're being pretty open with the IP, especially with the stuff that we're going to talk about with IDW. But not only that, we're getting Toho directly without IDW doing the Godzilla versus Marvel comics. We've also got MonsterVerse, the MonsterVerse sequel against the Justice League. And again, IDW will probably get their own crossover very soon. What it will be, I don't know, but I have this sneaking suspicion that IDW is going to do another crossover. If it's going to be Godzilla vs. Power Rangers 3, for the love of God, get a better artist. Anyway, so let's talk about a few things. Starting off with our first comic that was announced earlier this week, Godzilla, Here There Be Aliens. I gotta be honest, first and foremost, is that when they showed the promo art for Godzilla, Here There Be Aliens, the promo art looked exactly like something you would see in Mars Attacks. So for a hot second, I thought we were getting Mars Attacks Godzilla. And I got really excited for a second, but no, this is the end of the Here There Be Dragons trilogy, which started in Godzilla Here There Be Dragons, the Godzilla pirate crossover. Now, I haven't read the second one, Sons of Giants, but that one is coming out in a trade in a few months, so I will be talking about that one. Because I really liked Here There Be Dragons. So Godzilla Here There Be Aliens, like I said, is the end of this trilogy involving Godzilla and this cult called the Sons of Giants. And in here, we get a new version of the Exilians, one of Godzilla's oldest alien rivals. It also will be dealing with more space kaiju, so it does look like it's really feeding into that whole, like, alien kind of... like a lot of like space alien stuff. I really do like that. I really think that's cool. So I'm excited for this. Although like I said, I was like Mars Attacks Aliens. Aww. Anyway, so let's talk about the stuff that got announced as of today, as of this recording. Starting off with, we got more information regarding the new Godzilla ongoing series that I'm of two minds about, because basically the Godzilla storyline is that it's set in a universe where people are now evolving, like, after multiple Godzilla attacks and other kaiju attacks, is that it's basically now a universe where people are evolving with kaiju abilities. So it's kind of like a new version of a superhero story, and okay, that sounds cool. The writer will be Tim Seeley, which made me go, oh. Now, Tim Seeley, I'm of two minds about. Half the time, I like Tim... Like, there are times where I think Tim Seeley's a good writer, but there are other times where I'm like, you really overcomplicated the plot. And that's very... Like, the stuff I have seen, like, there are times where I'm like, oh, yeah, Tim Seeley's pretty good, but then there are other times where I'm like, you really overcomplicated this for no other reason other than you wanted it to be different. So, and sometimes that overcomplication of the plot, it hurts his writing. So I don't know how I'm going to feel about this. I'm going to have to wait until like the first volume or the first few issues come out to like give my thoughts on it, but it sounds like a cool premise. It sounds very like an anime you would see from like Studio Trigger or something, so that's kind of cool. Then we have Godzilla Escape from the Dead Zone. In this comic, we're basically dealing with a Godzilla human hybrid. Like, the first time we're getting a kaiju human hybrid who has been living in this place called the Dead Zone and trying to get out of it. It sounds like a dark coming of age story. I do suspect we'll get like some body horror type stuff along the way. It does sound pretty cool. Like, this one sounds like a more like a personal piece of a comic. The problem is that with these next two titles, I don't know who's writing them. The article I had didn't say writers, so I couldn't tell you. Like, I couldn't tell you who was writing this one. But like I said, Tim Seeley, he's doing the new Godzilla ongoing, and Frank Terry's doing Here There Be Aliens. But Godzilla Escape from the Drop Zone, couldn't tell you about that one. But finally, the last piece of Godzilla comic we got, the last Godzilla comic announcement we got, that's the one that really got me. Like, this one was the one I was, like, all in, and that is Starship Godzilla. Starship, like, the name alone, I was, like, already in. Although it should have been called Starship Mechagodzilla, but we'll get into that in a moment. Basically, it follows a crew of, ragtag crew of people traversing the stars in a modded Mechagodzilla, going out into space and encountering other alien races, namely the alien races from the other movies, like the simians, the shape-shifting monkeys. That's what they've been kind of shortened down to. The aliens from Hunter M. Nebula, the Exilians, things like that, and also encounter new aliens along the way. So I am 100% behind this already. Like, the artwork looks really cool. It has this kind of the artwork looks very like again, it is the cover art. We don't know what the interior art is, but it has this kind of sweet, this soft lo-fi kind of look. It also has this. It really invokes like a bit of Star Wars and Cowboy Bebop to it as well. So I looked at this and went, goddamn, Starship Godzilla, I am already all in on. Like, I am 100% all in on Starship Godzilla. But yeah, it is cool that, like, IDW, even though they weren't in on the Marvel versus Godzilla crossover, it's nice to know that, like, Toho gives them a long leash to do whatever they see, like, whatever they want. Like, it looks like they've been open. Obviously, we have the new Godzilla Heist comic that just that has just started. Man, I really tripped over my words there. Sorry. Then you have the Godzilla vs. America miniseries and the start of Mothra, Queen of the Monsters. We're getting I really like this new era of experimental Marvel Godzilla IDW era. Like, I think, this is so cool to see and how it plays out. Like, I think it's a really cool era for Godzilla. Anyway, but yeah, like I said, I really do hope that if we get more, because Toho and IDW said there's more announcements throughout the week, so I would imagine, like, either tomorrow or Friday, that would probably be the time it was like, oh yeah, we got one more big announcement, it's a new Godzilla crossover, yay! Whether that be, Godzilla TMNT, or Godzilla vs. Star Trek. I'm kind of going in-house, like, thinking another, IDW's doing an in-house crossover, just so they can have something, because Marvel and DC have got their own Godzilla crossovers. So I imagine they would probably want to do, like, if they do announce, and again, I'm not saying they are going to announce a crossover, I just feel like that's going to be, like, the cherry on top, the final thing they announce. So, if they do announce a crossover for this big Godzilla week they've been talking about, I would imagine that it would probably be an in IDW. Whether that, again, a lot of us are kind of saying that, yeah, the next logical option is have the two biggest titles at IDW crossover, that being Godzilla versus TMNT, but we'll see how this plays out. But yeah, you guys tell me in the comments below, what do you guys think of these new Godzilla comic announcements? Or do you guys like them, hate them, and are you hoping for a new Godzilla crossover from IDW? Just comment below, let me know. Other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.